First, the shocking news hook begins with a storm of cold winds and headlines shaking the battlefield as the harsh winter grips the Eastern Front. What was once considered Russia's greatest ally, the legendary force of General Winter, now seems to have betrayed them at a moment when they believed nature itself would favor their advance. The reality on the ground is very different. Ukraine, instead of collapsing under the pressure of ice, snow, and frozen terrain, has adapted, restructured its strategy, and used the very same conditions to strike back with devastating effect. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Frontline Report channel. Please subscribe and like my videos so you never miss the breaking updates and in-depth reviews of the shifting tides in this global conflict. This is not just another seasonal setback, but a turning point in military history where the freezing temperatures themselves have become a weapon turned against the side that once relied on them for salvation. The exterior of this conflict looks brutal and unforgiving. Snow blankets the fields of eastern Ukraine, rivers freeze into sheets of white, and winds cut through everything in their path. For centuries this exterior image worked in favor of Russia. When Napoleon's forces entered Russia in 1812, the sheer force of winter destroyed them more effectively than the Russian army ever could. In the Second World War, Hitler's invasion collapsed in large part because his troops froze in temperatures they were never prepared for. Russia has always believed that winter was their natural shield. Yet in this modern war, the exterior has shifted. The frozen terrain that was supposed to halt Ukraine has instead given it unexpected advantages. Snowstorms cover drone movements, frozen rivers create paths for surprise crossings, and icy fields have become traps for Russian tanks. The image of the frozen landscape has flipped. Instead of protecting Moscow, it now betrays it. Looking at the interior reveals why this transformation has happened. Ukraine's forces, though smaller, are outfitted with modern winter gear supplied by allies. Thermal clothing, portable heating systems, and advanced shelter designs keep them fighting effectively in sub-zero conditions. Their communication systems are resistant to cold damage, and their soldiers have received training in survival and endurance under these extreme conditions. Russia's interior tells another story. Soldiers are seen struggling with outdated uniforms, reports of frostbite spread across the front lines, and logistical breakdowns leave units without proper rations or heating. Vehicles are left frozen on the roadsides, supply trucks fail to arrive on time, and morale crumbles under the weight of freezing winds. The interior of Ukraine's defenses is strong and resilient, while Russia's interior looks hollow, weakened by poor planning and overconfidence. Performance in this battlefield has become one of the most defining aspects of this winter war. Ukraine has demonstrated a surprising performance edge that continues to stun global observers. Their drones have been modified to fly in icy winds, their artillery has been repositioned to take advantage of frozen ground, and their rapid strikes have outpaced Russian countermeasures. Even in the middle of snowstorms, Ukrainian units manage to coordinate precision attacks on depots, fuel lines, and equipment storage areas. Russia's performance has faltered. The heavy reliance on armor and mechanized convoys has backfired in the cold. Tanks and transport vehicles, designed for more tempered operations, struggle to function when oil freezes, batteries fail, and roads turn into death traps of black ice. The result is that Russia's mobility collapses at the exact moment Ukraine seizes speed as its advantage. The betrayal of General Winter is made clear in performance metrics, with Ukraine outperforming the very nation that built its historical identity on mastering the cold. Safety features in this context are not just luxuries, they are survival mechanisms. Ukraine's troops are safeguarded by advanced protective clothing, heated shelters, and first aid protocols that prioritize frostbite prevention. Western allies have supplied Ukraine with cutting-edge medical kits designed for extreme environments, meaning that even in brutal conditions, the casualty rate from the cold remains controlled. Russia's safety measures, however, appear outdated. Stories emerge of soldiers forced to warm their hands over makeshift fires, uniforms soaked and frozen, and inadequate medical response to frost-related injuries. Frostbite cases, hypothermia, and equipment failures paint a grim picture of collapsing safety structures. This failure shows that winter, instead of offering Russia protection, is now an active danger to its own soldiers. Safety belongs to the side that adapts, and this year Ukraine is the one that has adapted best. Unique selling points in war often define which side can sustain momentum. For Russia, the unique selling point has always been its history of endurance, its ability to outlast any enemy by simply letting winter fight on its behalf. That advantage has disappeared. Ukraine's unique selling point is innovation. They have turned weather into an ally through adaptation. Snowstorms are used as cover for drone flights, frozen rivers allow troops to bypass heavily guarded routes, and precision strikes in icy nights catch Russian units off guard. While Russia relies on history and myths, Ukraine relies on flexibility and ingenuity. The unique selling point of this war is no longer about who can survive the cold, but about who can transform it into a weapon. Ukraine has successfully done so, making winter one of their strongest allies. If we translate all of this into price, the costs become staggering. Russia is paying a high price for its miscalculations. Thousands of soldiers have been lost to the cold alone, without even accounting for direct combat. Billions of rubles worth of tanks, vehicles, and artillery are destroyed not by enemy fire but by frozen conditions. Fuel shortages and logistical breakdowns create further financial strain, forcing Moscow to pour more resources into an already stretched front. Ukraine's price is different. Their investments in training, gear, and alliances have been costly, but these costs are paying off in efficiency and effectiveness. The losses are still there, but they are far outweighed by the advantages gained from preparation. Russia's reliance on tradition and assumption that winter would protect them has led to a cost far greater than anticipated, showing that the betrayal of General Winter comes with a devastating financial and human price. The conclusion is as symbolic as it is practical. General Winter, the legendary ally of Russia for centuries, has turned away. But this betrayal is not fate or myth. It is the result of a failure to adapt and prepare. Ukraine has proven that resilience and strategy can reshape even the harshest natural environments. Russia, blinded by its past victories, assumed that the same formula would work again. But history does not repeat itself when the conditions of war change. This is not the 19th century or the 20th century. Technology, alliances, and preparation have rewritten the rules. Ukraine's strikes in the frozen conditions are not just tactical victories but symbolic acts that declare that no force, not even nature, is permanently loyal to one nation. This betrayal will be remembered as one of the most important turning points of the conflict. Russia's myth of winter as an undefeatable ally has been shattered. Ukraine has not only survived the cold but used it to strike back harder, turning disadvantage into opportunity. The frozen betrayal of General Winter is now part of the story of how a smaller, more adaptable force managed to outthink and outlast a larger one. The symbolism is powerful. Winter was supposed to be Russia's shield, but now it has become Ukraine's sword. The lessons here go beyond the battlefield. They remind us that relying on myths and past glories is dangerous. The world changes, and those who adapt will survive. Ukraine's resilience, preparation, and adaptability show that even in the harshest winters, victory belongs to those who innovate. Russia's downfall in this season shows that arrogance and overconfidence are punished harshly, even by forces of nature once believed to be loyal. General Winter has not changed sides by magic, he has changed sides because Russia failed to honor the timeless rule of war, always prepare for change. The betrayal of General Winter stands as a powerful symbol of this war. It is not just about snow and ice, but about strategy, preparation, and adaptability. Ukraine's ability to weaponize the cold is a story of human resilience, while Russia's struggles are a cautionary tale of relying too heavily on history. The war will continue, but the image of Ukraine striking back in frozen fields once thought impossible will remain one of its defining moments. The myth of Russia's winter dominance has ended, and a new reality has taken its place. Winter now belongs to those who prepare, and this season, it belongs to Ukraine.